Hey guys, and welcome back to the JTO channel. And this is your match review of Everton nil, Chelsea nil. Obviously, we've gone to Goodison Park for the last ever time. Funnily enough, I didn't mention this in yesterday's preview, but Everton are moving into a new stadium from next season onwards. So that game we've just played at Goodison Park will be the last ever time we play at that ground. And I must say very quickly, thank God. I can't tell you how much I hate playing Everton at Goodison. Goodness me. Like, it's actually so annoying. But regardless of the fact, it's the last time we played there. We played them there 94 times, I'm pretty sure. That's what the Chelsea account said. So, yeah, 94 times. And that will be the last of it. Thank God for that. But, yeah, Chelsea get the draw today at Goodison Park in their last ever visit there. And listen, it is what it is, man. When you look at the Premier League table, it means we're a point behind Liverpool. We had the chance to go top for at least a couple hours. I expect Liverpool to at least not lose today to Spurs. So I expect by the end of the day, Liverpool will be at least 2 points clear of us. If they win, they'll obviously be about 4 points clear of us, if I'm not wrong. And obviously they'll have a game in hand, of course, which funnily enough is at Everton. And speaking of that game in hand, before I even get started, one thing I have to mention, apparently, you saw the conditions at the beginning of the game with the wind and even the rain. Apparently, according to the commentator that I was listening to, he said that Evertonians over there, they think that today's game, the weather conditions for today's game was actually worse than the one against Liverpool. And they postponed the Liverpool one. Very interesting, that, I must say. The conditions for today's game was much worse than previous weeks on the day they were meant to face Liverpool, and they postponed that game. Very interesting. Very, very interesting, I must say. But, okay, cool. Whatever. Regardless, there's no excuses. We did enough to win today. But it happens in football. We're going to drop points. We're going to be disappointed. It's not the end of the world, though. And kind of hope people stop going on about us being in a title race as well. Today kind of showed we're not in a title race. It showed by the performance of some of these players. And to an extent, even the manager's performance today, his in-game management, his substitutions weren't good enough today. Let's just keep it real. So it is what it is. Second in the table going into Christmas. Look, we'll take it. I don't think any of us expected to be in this position before the season started. So at the end of the day, I'm really happy with the squad. I'm really happy with the manager. Today just wasn't our day. Loads of players played poorly. The manager's in-game management wasn't good enough, and it happens. It happens. That's football. We're not going to win every single game. We've won our last 8 games in a row. Literally, 5 of those in the Premier League. We're always going to drop points somewhere. I thought to myself, surely it was after we played Tottenham. I looked at the next 3: Brentford, Everton, Fulham. I thought to myself, these are all teams that will cause us problems in different ways. I'll be surprised if we probably don't drop points somewhere here. So yeah, today was the day. We just got to dust ourselves down and go again. We got Fulham on Boxing Day, so yeah, not good enough today. But when we get into the game and how it went, when you look at the lineup that Maresca put out, I got it bang on. Got it absolutely bang on. Like I said in my preview yesterday. Sanchez in goal. It was a back four of Disasi, Tosin, Colwell, Gusto. It was Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in the pivot. It was Cole Palmer in the 10. Neto on the right. Sancho on the left, Nicholas Jackson up front. I told you guys, if you watched my preview yesterday, exactly how he would set up on the ball, off the ball. Got it spot on. You saw on the ball, Gusto was playing as a number 10 next to Cole Palmer, basically. As the game later went on, he did invert, and Enzo started to play in the 10 next to Cole Palmer a lot more, and we started to get maybe just a little more joy, but it just wasn't enough. But I told you Cole will be in the left centre back role, tossing Disasi the right centre back role. I told you that Vega wouldn't play because he would just trust Disasi's experience, and his a little bit of know-how as well. And also the fact that Goodison's just a complicated place to play at, and you don't want to make mistakes in that ground. And maybe the manager just thought Disasi would less likely make mistakes than Vega. And the most important thing, Disasi aerially and his physicality is massive for a game like this. So Everyone was angry that he was gonna play. Me, I wasn't. I totally understood it. If anything, I probably wanted it to happen because I wanted to give Gusto another chance to see if he's improved in this sort of inverted role. It was another opportunity for Gusto to see if he's improved in this inverted role next to Cole Palmer or next to the midfielders and see if he can make the right decisions on the ball today. He didn't. Gusto today, not good enough. And listen, I love Gusto. I think he's a really good player, but I just think him inverting, I just don't think it's a role that's for him now. I think when I look at how we need to use Gusto, I think we either need to use him as an overlapping fullback, hold the width, overlap, put crosses into the box, or you get him as a right centre back as part of a back three, and then you get Cucurella to invert and he bees the number 10 next to Cole Palmer, or he inverts next to Caicedo, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And we really miss Cucurella today in terms of just on the ball. And we actually miss Wesley Fofana today as well on the ball because Disasi today was not good enough. Like, on the ball, not good enough. In a game like this, where Everton are going to sit back, and I said yesterday, they're going to press at times, and they did press at times, but majority of the time they didn't. They sat back. You need ball carriers at the back. And Wesley just gives us that, and nobody else in our defence really gives us that ball carrying ability from the back to sort of break lines that way. We've got line breaking passes like Tosin, Badiashile, Cole, but we don't have enough ball carrying defenders. We only have one in Wesley Fofana, and we clearly missed that today because Disasi's ball carrying today wasn't good enough. So yeah, that was that. And even like he was leaving space in behind. He was getting done a couple times when Everton were on the ball. Like, if Everton had any chance today of scoring from open play, it was going to come from Disasi's side because Iliman Njai was playing out there today. Obviously, McNeil was not available. So yeah, just disappointing game overall. Like, even going forward in the first half, like, Neto for me is not doing enough at all. Not enough at all. Palmer probably dropped his worst game in a Chelsea shirt, if I'm being honest with you. The touches weren't there, the passing wasn't there, his crossing was awful, his decision making not good enough. Yeah, he won a couple fouls here and there. Jackson today, anonymous, got locked out the game. I thought he actually started off alright, to be fair. First 10 minutes with his flicks and tricks, laying it off to Palmer, but then Palmer's just not making the right decision. Jackson's game just faded away. Jadon Sancho's the only one today for me who looked like he could do something. Was it good enough? No, but I think he's probably the last attacker people should be complaining about. I'm seeing a lot of people complaining about Jadon Sancho's game today. He was probably our best attacker today. And if I was to give him a rating, he was probably a 6 out of 10. You know, I didn't think he was good enough in the first half, Jadon Sancho, overall, against Ashley Young. Second half, he started to get onto Ashley Young a lot more. Started to go past him a lot easier. A lot quicker, you know? Neto, just not good enough today. I thought the two midfielders, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, were good today. Enzo was frustrating me a little bit with some of his passing in the first half, but as the game went on, he definitely got better in that. And one thing about Enzo is his physicality is there now. Like, he's getting stuck in. You can see he's not getting bullied. Like, he's definitely in his bag right now in terms of his fitness. His fitness is top level right now. Caicedo, as per usual, puts in the standard 7 out of 10 performance. So those two were good today. Sanchez was good today overall. But yeah, I just believe tactically, I think Maresca may have let us down today because I understand the way he started tactically with how he wanted to use Gusto and the back three and Palmer and the wingers and all of that. I explained it all in my preview yesterday. But then my thing is, he didn't change it. He didn't change it enough tactically and with his in-game management. I think today Madueke should have come on a lot earlier. I think to bring him on with only 15 minutes to go is not good enough. Like, 15 minutes to go, you're bringing Noni on, especially knowing the fact that the refs weren't going to add much stoppage time. They only added 2 minutes in the end, which didn't surprise me because nothing happened in the game to have at least 5 minutes of added time. Nothing really happened in the game for there to be a mad stoppage time. So I just think Maresca was too late with the subs. I think he should have potentially brought on a Vega to invert instead of Gusto, maybe. and have him invert next to Caicedo and push Enzo up forward, in which that's what he did with Gusto. But the problem with Gusto is Gusto understands what he needs to do tactically and he picks up the right positions. But what he does on the ball is simply not good enough. Like, you see Cucurella. Cucurella, on and off the ball, yeah? Like, Cucurella knows when to make an underlapping run. He knows when to make an overlapping run. When he gets the ball, he knows exactly who he needs to pass it to. He knows what type of pass he needs to play. He understands what type of position he needs to play. Like, Cucurella's understanding and level of decision making in that role is top level. Gusto's is just not, it's just not there. Like, it's simply just not there at all. He's really struggling to really do well in that role, and I think it's probably time we stopped trying that with him now. I think it's time we stopped, because it's clear that he's not gonna, if he's gonna improve, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. We're nearly halfway through the season and he's still struggling to do it. So, you know, I think we need to kind of change that and either have Vega do that role, or bring in Josh Achampong, who can do that role as well, potentially. So that's something for Maresca to look out for. To only make 2 subs as well, not good enough. I wouldn't have brought on Nkunku, probably. I didn't think this was the type of game for him at all. I think when you bring on an Nkunku, the likes of Braithwaite and Tarkowski, they're going to look at him and think, that's easy work. Because Nkunku's not going to press like he didn't. Nkunku doesn't hold up the ball well. Nkunku doesn't have pace. He has a good first touch, but he's not strong enough either. So for defenders like the ones Everton have, they look at Nkunku and think, yeah, bring him on. He'll be easier to deal with than Jackson. And he was easier to deal with than Jackson. I actually would have brought off Mark Gu. I would have brought on, Mark Gu today instead of Nkunku. I think Mark Gu could have caused them more problems with his pace, with his pressing, with his strength, with his sort of enthusiasm and stuff like that. I thought he could have caused more problems, but he's 18. Maresca thinks maybe that it's not the right game for him. I think it could have been the right game for him, considering it's a game of physicality. And Mark Gu, to me, offers more physicality than Nkunku. So this is what I mean when I say I think the manager had a poor game in terms of his not being able to adapt and change his tactics during the game. His in-game management, his substitutions weren't good enough. And yeah, it is what it is. And listen, the players today, other than Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Robert Sanchez, and Tosin, and Colwell as well, I thought everyone had a poor game. Overall. Not good enough. But it is what it is. We moved. There's nothing really much else to say, you know. There's just things we have to work on. Fair play to Everton. 0-0. Really good team defensively. Sean Dyche's men are doing their thing, and it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating because I don't like playing Everton. Don't like playing a Sean Dyche team in general. But it is what it is. I said not many teams are going to keep a clean sheet against us. So if they do keep a clean sheet against us, well done to you. That's impressive. Everton, well done. Proper impressive. Really, really impressive today. Ashley Young for his age. Wow. You know. Of course, Jadon Sancho had his way in the second half. But for his age, wow. What a performance, you know. I thought their midfield was pretty good. Congested in that area. And yeah, it is what it is. Everton are going to be a tough side. And we'll see what happens in the future. We move. We've got Fulham at home next on Boxing Day, 3 o'clock. So hopefully we can just win that game and move on from this. But at least this game has shown to everyone we're not quite ready for a title race. Title race talk? No, thank you. Leave it now. So I hope people can shut it down and we don't have to speak about it again, at least in the future. So yeah, it is what it is. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Turn those post notifications, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. Up the Chelsea regardless. And yeah, we move. Merry Christmas, and eat. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. Peace.